Welcome to our listeners. We assume the live has begun, even though it's chewing on it over here.
It says, ladies and gentlemen, streaming live on YouTube.
We are live. And we are so very excited because if you didn't see yet, this is our 50th episode. Dina, congrats. Huge win.
Oh my goodness, Maggie. Yes, congratulations. It's like high five each other.
How much fun have we been having? And this episode is a very special episode. So we wanted to come to you live. And it's a very important episode for all of us.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And we're going to get into that in just 1 second. And we truly want our audience to just take the time for themselves. This is truly, it's February. It's a couple of days after Valentine's Day. It's just, yes, we give to everybody else, but we need to give to ourselves first.
Yes, and we are worth it to spend this time. I love that you said that. Like, just sit back, spend this time for yourself, and think about how all of this resonates with you.
Yes.
Because here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be turning the spotlight inward and asking ourselves a very critical question. Are we truly loving ourselves? And that question is going to be asked in the context of 3 people.
3 people, huh?
Me, myself, and I.
I love that. I actually walk around the house, sometimes when, things aren't going the way I want, or I'm like, wait a second, what about me, myself, and I?
And I always say too, my chopped liver, right? No,
Yeah.
we're not. We are
Right.
And and loving ourselves, I think sometimes is hard for us, each of us individually, because it's not just about like self-care days. It's not just about go do that bubble bath or get that massage or get that pedicure or say some loving affirmations to myself. It's not just about that. And it's not a destination. You don't arrive somewhere. We never get there, unfortunately. However, excuse me, it's a personal practice.
Right.
And it evolves as we do. So it's about understanding and acknowledging and tending to our very personal needs.
But I love what you said about it being it's not a destination. It's not something you just arrive at. It's really about the road that you take on this journey. I just
Yes.
love, we both talk about the journey. We talk about the road. We talk about, getting to where we want or who we are or who we want to be. I mean, I'm going to be very honest. We know who we are. It's just bringing it out more and not be afraid of that.
I love that. Letting it be, because in
Letting
so
it
many
be.
cases, we have all these filters and external stuff, right? So,
Yes. Yes.
um, so before we ask ourselves the question about are we loving ourselves, Dina? Because we will. What does it look like for you to love yourself? What does that look like?
That could be a loaded question for Dina, but I'm always gonna dive right in. All right. For me, and this is years of figuring this out. And it's all about letting go of that fear. What I feared the most in any journey that I took, any obstacle that I had to overcome. And 2 always seemed to surface. And it's all about being judged and not loved. 4, taking care of myself first. Being in the healthcare profession for so long as a nurse and as an EMT, and taking care of everybody in the family and friends. I'm the middle child. I know I talk about this here and there, but It's a big joke in my family. Everybody came to me. What does the middle child think? I was like, what do I gotta make all the decisions for? And that puts a lot of judgment on me because if I don't do the right thing, or if I don't serve everybody, they're not going to love me. They're not going to judge me. They're going to judge me, you know? So it took me many years. I'm in my 5th decade, and this is a practice that I had to learn. It takes time. You're going to stumble. You're going to fall. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. It's about keep going, getting back up when you do fall off the horse. Get back on that horse if you like horses. And it's also about giving your permission to do this, to do it all. When I say do it all, it's all about taking that list of all the things that you want to do or who you want to be or who you are and just following it. We don't have to do it all at once. It's a process, like we said. It's a practice. It's baby steps. It's taking those stepping stones to get to where you want.
Well, and I love how you said that because it's honoring all of that about ourselves, right? And honoring it doesn't mean like pursuing every single thing right now. Honoring it means recognizing it's there and that it's important.
Yeah. The other thing that I want to bring to attention here is it's about being present. It's staying connected to myself. And I am who I am. And I should not be afraid. And I shouldn't feel guilty. And I shouldn't worry about being judged because this is who I truly am. And you have to be okay with who you are.
Well, I will say, Dina, that knowing you we just talked about this, it's a little over a year now. You do that with such grace and you do it out loud and it's inspiring because like with your wellness warriors, you do so many videos of you get real and raw in your day-to-day stuff and how you are showing up for yourself or what the fall felt like or how you got up from it. Or I love that you do that so well out loud.
Yes. So, I know we have been doing the podcast for a year now or almost a year, but we've known each other longer than that. It's about 2 years.
Oh, it is about 2 years. You're right.
It might be 2 months, 3 months, something like that.
We can say years.
Yes, we can say years. And it's a bond, it's a connection, it's a relationship, it's a friendship that I honestly feel like I've known you for my entire life. And I love that warm, sincere feeling that I get from you. So Maggie, tell our viewers and listeners, what does it look like for you to love yourself? I kind of know.
And you've heard me say, I'm hesitating here because I'm trying to stay away from the other question of how am I doing with it, right? Okay, so it looks like I always talk about loving yourself forward. And loving yourself forward to me is it's a mindset. It's about boldly facing your day with intention to include yourself in your priorities. Because how often do we have all these to-dos and all these priorities and it's like, well, I don't have time. Well, I don't have time. We can all say that every day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely we can.
Yes. And so loving yourself forward is whether it's boundary setting or taking the time to sit down and think, what's important to me today? And what might distract me from that, prevent me from getting it done, or what choices and actions should I be making to make sure I do that? It's really sitting with that. We don't often enough give ourselves enough time to think about that and sit with that. And that then leads to, it's also a personal commitment.
Yes.
You give yourself that time, that space, the energy, and the attention that you deserve. Because again, as women, we wear so many hats, we play so many roles, and so many of those roles rely on us to be out here serving everybody else, right?
Right.
How are we showing up for ourselves? And that's the ongoing practice is love yourself forward is all about showing up for you.
And that is exactly what you're doing so much more of with Love Me Healing, which is your business in regard to, the vision board workshops that you're doing, which I did it online, which was amazing. You do them online and in person, but it really takes all of everything that you just said about loving yourself forward. And I know vision board workshops or vision boards, we think that we need to do them in the beginning of the year. And you are so focused on having your community be intentional about this growing with you as you navigate and learn and grow and change, that even your vision board can change. And why does it have to be at the beginning of the year? It could be any time, whatever. It's actually what you want your life to be.
And you said that so perfectly, Dina, which when you think about our initial promotion of all this stuff was create your 2024, and we've shifted to create your 2024 scratch, create your life.
Your life. Love it.
Right? As our life unfolds each day, each week, each month, and we know time flies, right?
Right.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you for talking about that. I feel like, you and I have come on this journey together with respect to healing from the breast cancer is what we had in common, that journey.
Right.
But the healing part of that has taught both of us so much, which is what led to our respective businesses. And you coaching women through fear and that ongoing, just the ongoing journey of healing.
It's true, because when you learn to let it go, you can love yourself forward.
Yes, yes, yes.
We got to put it together, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, what did we say? Face your fears and love yourself forward.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So how would you say you're doing with loving yourself, Dina? At this point in time?
At this point in time, I do struggle. I'm going to be honest. I do struggle. There's days that I feel like I'm right on point. I'm doing what I want to do, whether it's journaling, working out, my nutrition, working with my clients, doing our podcast, networking, whatever we're doing, right? And then there's days it's just like, ugh, I don't want to do a thing.
That face. I'm so glad we're live, that face.
I'm very fake. My father always said, your facial expressions, you can't hide. I'm like, nope. So I have learned, which is very hard for me, that the day that I feel that way, I'm going to look at the day and say, what do I want for today to look like? Forget about what I think it should look like. What steps am I going to take to do something that will bring me love or joy or even some laughter? Because like you said, you have that list of 5 million things to do. Why do we have to get it all done? If we get nothing done on that list today, but you got something else done that wasn't on that list, or you took care of yourself, that's, to me, is very important.
And I want to just say a key to what you just said so brilliantly is if you got something else done that wasn't on your list, sometimes we don't see that as productive.
No.
But how are we defining productive? Because it might be that you had to go get that massage, or it might be that you had to go walk outside for a while.
Right.
That was productive because it's something you needed at the time. And I think we get so hung up on this productive thing and what defines successful production,
Right. Exactly. So how are you doing with this?
Well, you know what I always come back to it's almost like I have this scale that I have to convert to I have to flip it. But my 4 P's is what I always come back to.
P's again.
And when I'm able to let those P's go, I'm doing really well. But it comes and goes, like you said, and I get stuck on any one of them or multiple of them. And my P's of perfection, why am I always trying to get it right? And who right? My
Right.
proving, what do I have to prove to who and why? My pleasing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
what am I worried about? That they're not going to like me, or the judgment, like you said,
Yeah, right?
feeling like I have to do it all for everyone else. And then the performing, like the just always, it comes back to the productivity, right? I'm always performing and doing and doing and doing. So when I can let those go, and a big part of that is when I'm aware, you're getting into the perfectionism. This is enough. Don't keep doing and doing and doing and working on it.
Right.
So, and it's that is what is my relentless cycle of self-sabotage or hustle mode, if you will. And that's when I
Right.
recognize I'm out here too much. So
Mhm.
I have my awareness is very peaked, especially since last year I lost sight of
Right.
loving myself. I lost sight of focusing on my healing, focusing on all the things that are tending, all the needs and tending to my needs. Just forgot about it.
Right.
Um, so I am like uber focused and uber aware right now, and I feel like I'm doing pretty well.
No, you are doing well because half the battle is awareness.
Yeah. So I always tell
Okay.
my daughter, okay, so I should tell myself.
Yeah. You know, being aware of what you're feeling and what you're doing or what you're not doing, and sitting with those emotions and, truly feeling them, that allows you to take a step back and a breath and say, okay, this is what's going on. Let's flip the switch. How am I going to move forward? And that looks different for everybody.
It does. And that's a great point. And what helps with awareness too is when we recognize that how we feel when we're like, if you're not taking care of yourself, Dina, how does it feel?
You feel like garbage. You feel like you're a failure. You feel like, what's wrong with me? I mean, you get all the negative.
Yeah, and it's heavy, right? And it's
Yeah.
just like, so, and for everyone, it's different depending on the level of not taking care of yourself and loving ourselves,
Right.
right?
Right.
To recognize that is the first piece of, okay, I'm aware now, this doesn't feel right.
Hmm.
But, and then
Yeah.
recognizing how it feels when you are. Like when you do something for you, it feels awesome, right? I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely. Absolutely. Like oh, I had like a list, and I said to myself, what are the top three things that I totally need to get done today? And I just took the three off the list, put them up here on my monitor, and I was like, okay, got that one done, got that one done, and I got that one done. Just three, and it was just like you said, it's a good feeling. It truly is. And then you're like, all right, what else can I conquer today? What am I not afraid of? Or, I gotta love myself today. How am I going to do that? Kind of thing. But you do feel great when you do. It's the times that we don't feel good, how to navigate that
yes,
and pull ourselves back up is the key. And like you said, I'm going to go back to awareness is number one.
yes, because like
Recognizing it.
we're gonna fall, we're gonna stumble, we're gonna forget about it, we're gonna lose sight of it, whatever you want to say. And then it's just continuing to come back to it. And I would say for our listeners, uh, uh, this is like such an important, I'll even use the words like call to action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone listening to stop hustling for that external validation, that external worthiness, that external stuff,
Hmm.
and start stepping into a life where you're showing up for yourself. And I'm going to say you, yourself, and you, because it doesn't work to say me, myself, and I. That's me.
Right. You, yourself, and you. You're
Yeah,
right. It's so
yourself and
funny.
you.
Yeah. But it is true. And we do want our listeners and viewers to know that you come first.
Mhm, mhm,
You come first. You have to when you want to serve others, if you're not serving yourself, it's still when you're serving others, it still doesn't feel right.
mhm. Yeah.
you know And, there is nothing wrong with taking care of yourself first and not feel guilty about it.
When we,
Like you,
go ahead.
because that's what we do as women.
Yeah, right.
We feel guilty.
We feel guilty. And when we strengthen that connection we have with ourselves, it only strengthens the connection we can have with others, how we can serve others. So I love that you mentioned that.
And the other thing is, it's okay to ask for help in what you need or what you want. Find your tribe, find your community, reach out to us. Like, there's just so much out there, because we think that we're super women. We got to do it all. Nobody's going to do it better. Nobody's going to do it better than me. Well, hello, that's not always true.
Well, and I think as women coming together in community with each other, helping each other, whether it's one-on-one, which I know you do a lot of with your coaching, and or like communities like Heal Inside and Out and Love Yourself, or Love Me Healing, but with just loving yourself forward together it can create such momentum.
Yes.
It makes a difference. It has an impact.
Yes, it does. So what do we always say?
Well, because our healing depends on it, let's ask ourselves that question. Am I loving myself? Continuing to ask ourselves that question, because healing truly is
inside and out. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found value in today's episode.
And remember to share your real and raw insights with us by going to healinsideandout.com, where you can also find additional information and resources.